Hi, it's Steve Major again. Hope you're doing well. I just want to talk today about something that's really important to me. It's called negative event preparation. Um, as I say often in my other videos, it's important to understand that if you're struggling right now and you need professional help, that you should seek some professional help, whether that's through a crisis line. These videos are meant as me sharing some of my thoughts, some things that are important for you to be the best you that you can be. But if you really need to speak to a person one-on-one, reach out to a family friend, or if you're in crisis, make sure you make that call. Make sure you take that time to reach out to someone who can help you. So my topic today is negative event preparation. So I work as a family physician, but I also work as an emergency room physician. And in the emergency room, part of what we deal with is trauma. And so one of the courses we do is a trauma course called Advanced Trauma Life Support. Now, the goal of this course, and I'm an instructor in this course, but the goal of this course is to prepare physicians to work in emergency departments for any major trauma. Now, if you've worked in emergency or if you've seen a lot of TV shows, obviously there's a lot of people have seen what happens in an emergency department. Can be a chaotic environment, and the whole purpose of this program that we do called ATLS is to prepare us to make sure that we do things in a very logical path or a logical approach to make sure that we do the best for the patient that's in front of us. And so the pathway is dealing with the person's airway, their breathing and their circulation, and then working through that process to make sure that we, again, resuscitate them in the best manner possible. So I think in life, there is times that we have emotional trauma that is similar, and as a human being, if we come to understand ourselves better, we can understand things that trigger us in a negative way. So if you have somebody that you know always pushes your buttons, always seems to get you angry or upset, I think there's ways in which you can prepare yourself to deal with those negative events in a different way, similar to my ATLS in the emergency department, so that you're able to deal with that potentially traumatic emotional episode. So in that context, I think if you know for yourself that if you deal with a certain person, that they always get you upset, what you have to understand is that you are the one who controls your response to a situation. If you give over your emotions to somebody else by letting them be able to push your buttons or create an upsetting environment, it's because you haven't made a conscious decision to not let that person have that power over you. Now that sounds a little bit difficult to actually formulate, but what I mean by that is that if you prepare in advance of an anticipated conflict situation of what could happen, and you say, whatever happens, I'm just going to breathe. I'm going to breathe through this. I'm going to take a deep breath in and out. I'm going to take a deep breath in and out. And as you tell your brain and your body through those deep breaths that there's no reason to be upset, that this situation that could be a conflict to you, I'm not going to let that person push buttons in me to create a response. Take some conscious effort and conscious decisions to actually say, I'm going to take control of this situation so that next time when I'm in that situation, which could be hyper arousing to me, that I'm not going to respond that way. It would be no different than an actor would have to do to get on stage and then make sure he doesn't have stage fright or she doesn't have stage fright. You prepare yourself for that event by taking some conscious effort. I'm a conscious being. I can make a conscious decision not to let this affect me in a negative way. So I want you to, in a practical way, to think about situations in your life that regularly you get upset about. It could be road rage because you're in traffic. It could be conflict with a coworker. Whatever it is, understand that if you prepare yourself for that, I'm going to be driving my car and it's going to be a busy day in traffic and I'm not going to lose my shit. Make a decision that you're going to breathe and be calm. I control me. I only control me. So come back to that place and then try to bring that into your practice in your daily living. So the challenge is that that's easier said than done. And oftentimes the responses we have that are these negative responses that get us all wound up are a habit response that we're not necessarily conscious of. And so instead of getting stuck in that, be aware of the triggers for that subconscious reaction, and then make a decision that I know when that event's going to happen, I'm not going to respond that way. I'm going to change the way I respond. I think sometimes we think it's easier to break a habit than it is. I think it's better to overwrite a bad habit with a good habit. The habits we have in terms of our responses just need to be changed and altered. But trying to break a habit's much harder. We just have a harder time with that. As human beings, it just seems to be a struggle for us. Make a decision that my new habit is going to be something else. My new habit when my coworker gets me really upset is I'm going to breathe and walk away. I'm going to breathe and say, I don't need to participate in this. I don't need to participate in this conflict. Make some changes in your consciousness, which you're quite capable of, to understand that I can make a difference here because I control me. If I want to exert the control over me, I can change this pattern and make a new, healthier pattern. Anyway, I hope this helps you with some negative events that are in your lives. We all have some things that trigger us in terms of negative events, and some of us much more significantly than others. But think about how that those situations evolve in your life, and figure out a way to prepare for them so that when you're in that situation, you're going to respond differently and make a conscious decision to be a calmer, more engaged, and just calmer human being. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. And as I say always, I believe in you. You've got this, and life's going to get better. And we'll talk soon. Take care.